Hey sisters, welcome back to my channel. You know I'm always coming to you with those relatable topics. So if you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button. Tell a friend about my channel. And by the looks of the title, you already know what we're gonna get into. So let's get right into the video. Whatever you're going through in life, just always keep your head up, okay? No matter what you do, keep your head up and push forward. That's the best thing you could ever do for yourself, no matter what challenges you're facing, no matter what you're going through, okay? But let's get down into the topic. So, how to bounce back. Listen, at the end of the day, you owe it to yourself to give life your best shot, okay? You owe it to yourself to accept some type of responsibility for another failed relationship, right? You can't always point the finger at the other person and say, oh, they cheated on you, they did this to you, they did that to you. I'm just gonna keep it all the way real with you. At some point, you have to say to yourself, like, I saw the red flags and I ignored it. You have to say to yourself, my intuition was on point about the person, but I ignored it. You have to get to a point where you're ready to look yourself in the mirror and say, I chose this person because ultimately you did. And it's just like, it could be very frustrating to face the truth, but I'm here to tell you, like, the quicker you're able to face the truth is the quicker you're able to get over the situation and bounce back from it. So it doesn't really matter how long you've known the person, how long you've been with the person. At the end of the day, all that matters is that you're able to continue to focus and make yourself a priority and not really dim your light because somebody else didn't appreciate you. It's just like, at the end of the day, life goes on. Life goes on, and all you can do in life is to bring your memories with you, your cherishable moments with you, and you have a choice in life. It's either you're gonna make your experiences make you or break you. Or should I simply say it's either gonna build you or break you? Either way, same ordeal, sis. Just know that you can't allow another failed situation or another disappointment to completely sway you off your path. You have to keep going, or else you'll never make it in life. And that's the bottom line. If you are going to throw yourself a pity party every time it happens, if you are going to indulge in a lack of self-awareness and, just throw your dignity to the side, offer one individual, it's not a good look. I'm here to tell you it's not a good look. Think about all the celebrity couples out there that have gone through 10 times worse in front of the whole world. And me and you are regular people that go through these things under the quiet. So it's just like, if you could definitely handle it now and quiet, you have the upper hand. And what I mean by that is, another way for you to really bounce back from being cheated on is to really understand that you don't have to share everything with your friends and family. You don't have to let them know what happened. Because oftentimes they were hating on your situation from the beginning anyway. And you're just gonna allow them the chance to gloat and be happy and rejoice over your downfall, your pain, really. So, in order to give yourself a break, you don't have to tell anybody what happened. You could just simply say, me and this person don't talk anymore. That's it. You don't live your life feeling like you owe people an explanation. You don't owe nobody an explanation unless you feel like you want to share details of your life, okay? But other than that, like I said, always make yourself the priority. So, you're not gonna sit back and dwell on how disappointed you are, how hurt you are, and how in shock you are. You're going to focus on the fact that you're gonna learn from it. You're definitely gonna make sure it doesn't happen to you again. And you're gonna turn your pain into power. Yes, all the way. You're gonna turn your pain into power because can't nobody love you the way you love you. And can't nobody make shit happen for you the way you can make it happen for you. You know what makes you happy, okay? And that's another thing too. I think a lot of us, we dwell too much on our expectations in a person or in a relationship. Your expectations should not take over the dynamic of your relationship, in essence, where you feel like it's your person's responsibility to make you happy and to succeed at your needs and wants. It's like, with any situation, it has to be an equal give and take. Your needs and wants have to be equally meshed, or else it's not gonna go nowhere. Because when you're busy suffocating each other with, oh, I need you to do this for me to feel comfortable in this relationship, I want you to do this, or I need a woman to do this, I need a man to do this, it's like you're suffocating each other. You're putting each other on eggshells. How can you love freely when you put each other on eggshells? So it's gonna make the dynamic of the relationship just so out of whack, where cheating is like a scapegoat. It's an excuse. It's a reason, a valid reason at that, to get out of a situation. And oftentimes that's why it happens, because your partner feels suffocated by you, but you refuse to take responsibility for it. So that could be another situation. But when I related back to celebrity couples, the reason why I related back to that is because, some of them go through the worst scandals ever when it comes to their committed relationships, and they have to go through it in front of the entire world, okay? And in retrospect, it may not be easy for them to bounce back, but they always do. They always do in some shape or form. So for me, if they can, why can't we? Okay? If they can definitely take the time to heal. And remember, these celebrities are known for their careers. They're known for diving headfirst into their careers and always putting their careers first. So taking a break from their career to focus on their healing process is like stabbing themselves in the back. But that's what they have to do in order to bounce back 10 times better and keep on providing that level of entertainment that you all love them for so much. So I'm not saying you're a celebrity and you're going to approach your life as a celebrity, but what I am saying is the endurance, the knowledge, the perseverance of it all is what it boils down to. If you really want to not give up on life, if you really want to continue on your path that you were on before you met the individual that disappointed you in this manner. You really have to dig deep and find whatever means it takes to put yourself first, to redefine who you are as a person, to understand yourself better, so that moving forward you could definitely align yourself properly if you do decide to go into a different relationship with somebody else, with somebody new. So life is all about give and take. It's all about sacrifices. It's all about learning from your mistakes. And this is the way I personally see it. If you keep finding yourself down this road, the best thing you could do is understand that knowledge is power. So the more you go through these certain type of scenarios with relationships, is the more you'll be able to process it faster, analyze them, and actually see it coming before it hits you at your front door. Like, once you are aware, once your eyes are open to specific behaviors and characteristics, oh, honey, you'll be able to sense it a mile away. And that's the best thing about having experience. That's the best thing about having knowledge. Okay? So, I wouldn't say, become bitter, but it's only natural. We are all human. It's only natural. But don't become bitter in a sense where you curse love. You want to say to hell with love. You give up on love. Become bitter in a sense where you are guarded. You're guarding your mental health. You're guarding your emotional and spiritual well-being. And that's completely fine. That's completely normal. And it's completely healthy to do so that you can cope with life and continue to move on for this bounce back. Okay? I like to refer back to Will and Jada Smith. For those of you who don't really follow their whole marriage scenario, they would be a perfect example of a bounce back. Because when they met, Will was trying to bounce back from his first marriage, and Jada had to succumb to that situation and the drama that he was in the middle of when they met. Okay, not only that, she had to succumb to the fact that he was the Fresh Prince and his career was on the rise, and he was the it man, whereas she was so laid back and grounded that didn't really impress her. She liked Will for who he was, and not who he was as a person, and not his career. And that trickled over into their marriage for many years to come, even currently. There's times where they separated and nobody knew. There's times where they had complete emotional breakdowns, spiritual breakdowns, and nobody knew. But they have become more vocal about their process of bouncing back from disappointments from each other throughout the years on her show, The Red Table Talk. And if you really want to understand the true essence of a bounce back, I suggest you refer to their situation. Watch as many videos as you can that references back to any drama that they've had, any breakups that they've had, because let me tell you something, right? The thing about relationships is no matter how long you've been involved with the person, it all boils down to this. The bond that you share is what is is what what is gonna signify if it's real or not. if the love was real or not, okay? In general, when it comes to cheating, honestly, it's been going on for decades. So you could sit there and beat yourself up over it and tell yourself, you're not gonna settle for less and you're not gonna stay with anybody that keeps cheating on you, whoop de whoop de doo. But, to be quite honest, it's been going on for ages. It's been going on since before Christ, actually. And if you want to go back in history and go back in time and follow how cheating originated and how it was regulated and normalized in society up until now, then you'll definitely understand why it's so hard to nip it in the bud. It's so hard to get a hold of it and really find a relationship that disregards the act of cheating. Cheating back then was first started amongst family members. It was started amongst incest. And then it grew from incest to best friends, close friends. Then it went from close friends to strangers. So, I mean, what are you going to do? You and your person are two people amongst maybe 2.5 billion other human beings in the world. They're bound to meet someone else along the way with being with you. They're bound to connect to other characteristics, okay? That's just how life is set up. Think of back then when there was kings and queens on a normal basis, and the king was allowed to have several concubines along with his queen. Those things still exist. Those lifestyles still exist. You have families right now that believe in polygamy, whether it be in the American culture or other cultures. So I'm not gonna sit here and tell you like, you definitely, should wrap your head around the ideal that you're gonna find somebody that won't cheat on you, you're gonna have the happily ever after. I'm not here to sell you a dream. I'm here to help you cope. I'm here to help you heal. And I'm here to help you realize that it is what it is. Nobody's perfect. Nobody's perfect. But what you're relying on at the end of the day is the love that you share with each other. The bond that you share with each other is what you're relying on. You could sit down and tell yourself that you are gonna be someone's Bonnie or someone's Clyde. You could sit down and tell yourself that, you found your ride or die, you found your soulmate. But guess what? If they're going to cheat, it's just gonna happen and there's nothing you could do about it. But what you can do is try to understand why they cheated, what made them feel the need to cheat on you, and how you guys can recuperate from it and move on. How can you guys ensure to each other that the trust can be rebuilt and that it won't happen again? That's reality. Any relationship coach, as well as myself, will tell you the same thing. It's the truth. That's the reality. I mean, you could throw a fit all you want. You could leave all you want. But the reality of it is you might just end up single for the rest of your life if that's how you're going to look at every situation. If you're going to blame the person because they committed the act, but not actually take responsibility for trying to figure it out, what is it about you that keeps allowing these people to cheat on you? What is it that they found interesting about the other person and stuff of that nature? Then you're just going to be in this repetitive cycle of disappointment, depression, hating life, being bitter. And there's so much more to life. there is so much more to life. You deserve so much more, but you have to be willing to do the work. You have to be willing to face yourself in the mirror and understand that there is more out there for you. There is a different side to relationships that you should be experiencing, but you have to align yourself mentally in order to do so. And the only way to align yourself mentally is to really understand how society works. Okay? Trust me, I've been there. You have to understand that cheating is not always about sex. Sometimes your partner just really wants somebody to talk to, and they find somebody that understands them in a way that they never experienced before, or they found somebody that would just listen to them and not critique them. Sometimes cheating is about just feeling wanted and needed and not taken advantage of. Sometimes cheating is, you know, a moment of fun for your person that they just crave some excitement in their life because their life is like a boring day to day. You know, cheating is a variety of reasons. So the best way for you to bounce back is to get clarity, is to understand why it happened in the first place. Now, not everybody's gonna be able to swallow their pride and come out completely and say to you, oh, this is why I did it. They're not gonna do that. But hopefully the love that you share with each other will allow them to respect you enough to want to give you that clarity, to want to give you that closure, you know? And that's exactly why I keep referring to Will and Jada, because, you know, you have to find somebody that is willing to go through with you. You have to find somebody that no matter what, if you wake up tomorrow and hate each other's guts, they will still honor you. They will still cherish you. You have to be willing sometimes to put your foot down, to show your partner, like, you know, enough is enough. Sometimes you have to be willing to even turn your back on them to prove a point. There's gonna be times in your relationships where you have to take things to the extreme to get your partner's attention, especially as far as cheating. And you're always gonna be expected to pick up the pieces on your own. I'm sorry to tell you, but that's just the way it is, right? But picking up the pieces is a good thing because the pieces are in your hands. So what you do with those pieces definitely make a difference. How you lay those pieces out in front of you definitely make a difference. Whether you're going to salvage your relationship or completely move on, it's up to you. But the bounce back is on you. The bounce back is completely on you. It's your responsibility to always remember how to love yourself outside of loving someone else. And that's the thing too. You can't love yourself if you don't. No, I said that wrong. You can't, excuse me. You can't love somebody else if you don't love yourself first. It's impossible. Because the type of love that you're going to express to them on a daily basis, you have to be able to exemplify that within yourself. Remember, people are not stupid and they expect you to lead by example either way. So, in order for you to build a solid bond with somebody, you have to exude certain qualifications, certain characteristics for them to be comfortable enough to break down their barriers for you. And I'm not getting off topic, but the purpose of me saying that is for you to realize that that's the only way you're gonna know if the love was true, if the love was genuine, and if the love was real. That's the only way. There's a saying that you could love somebody from afar if you love them enough to let them go. And that saying is true. Sometimes you really do have to love somebody enough to let them go. Let them go, understand their mistakes, let them go, figure themselves out. Sometimes you gotta break up to make up. There's nothing wrong with that, but at the end of the day, it's your choice. You know what you can tolerate, you know what you can deal with at the end of the day. Everybody has flaws, and there's no way in the world you're gonna be with somebody that is perfect. There's no way you're gonna find somebody that's perfect. So it's either you love them flaws and all or keep it moving. I'm telling you, there's no fairy tale out here. Especially in today's society, there is not. There is none. Okay? And just like Will and Jada, they separated plenty of times throughout their marriage to get their act together. Because according to Jada, she was expecting her husband to make her happy because she was miserable with herself. Miserable from her past that she didn't heal from, and almost felt like she was completely running from her past every day that she woke up to her husband, who was this, iconic, legendary actor at this point, very well off, and he was fighting his own demons as well. Understanding himself better as a man to realize that him providing a successful, prosperous life for his wife and kids was feeding his own ego and not theirs. They didn't love him for what he could provide. They loved him for who he was. But he was too stuck in his ego to understand that. And it took for Jada to walk away plenty of times to break him down, mind, body, and soul, for this man to finally understand that the finer things in life was not what their love was rooted on. Their love was really a true love, a genuine love, where they appreciated who they were as a person when the lights were off, behind the scenes. Jada appreciated the insecure Will, the broken Will, the Will that was very determined no matter what to revive himself, the Will that didn't give up on her no matter what, no matter how much she pushed him, no matter how much she left him feeling broken, okay? And vice versa. Will saw that the more he tried to sweep Jada off her feet and be her prince, because remember, he was known as the Prince of Bel-Air, the Fresh Prince. That's not what she wanted. She began to despise him for it and tell him that he was so egotistical and that he was so selfish. And a lot of us women would say, how dare she tell him he's selfish for doing exactly what he's supposed to do, providing and giving her a good life. But when you really look into it, the dynamic of their relationship was based on a legitimate love. It wasn't a fairy tale, but he was trying to give her a fairy tale in exchange for the love that they shared. So it enraged her. And us as women, when you think about it, it would enrage you too, because yeah, you appreciate him for giving you a good life, right? But it's taken away from the bond that you had. It's taken away from the reason why you fell in love in the first place, right? It's just bringing a dark, heavy cloud over the reason why you were able to love each other in such a naked manner when the lights were cut off. So the spark started to dampen. The more successful he pushed himself to be, the more she created a wall and she became distant and she didn't want to be with him. She left, started to ask herself questions that all of us women need to ask ourselves. Why are we so unhappy when we have everything to make us happy? Why are we still complaining in our relationships when our men are doing everything that they're supposed to be doing? What is going to make me happy? What is going to make me comfortable within myself as an individual so I can stop finding reasons to be miserable? So I could stop finding myself in disappointed situations. So I could stop finding myself in heartbreak and agony and embarrassment and shame. You know, Jada put her foot down with Will. And ultimately, that's why they have their happily ever after right now. They both split. They both went ghost on each other. Will took 2 years by himself to really understand himself and really understand what it takes to make a marriage work outside of the lavish lifestyle. He did the inner work. Jada, she got in her entanglement with somebody else, and it really put her husband on his toes to realize, like, I'm about to lose my wife to somebody else because I can't get it together. And sometimes that's what it takes. It takes for a little bit of fear. It takes a little bit of, oh my God, what am I doing? Like, why can't I get it together for my person if I love them that much? You know, it takes that sometimes. And instead of him being upset that she was involved with someone else, in which practically that's what we all do sometimes. We get so focused on the jealousy part of it instead of understanding why that other person was able to come into play in the first place, right? He took it as a threat to his livelihood as a man. He took it to a threat as everything that he has been through with his wife and everything they built together, their legacy, their family name, their brand, that she was involved with somebody else that could definitely let it all slip away in a minute. And he was on his tippy toes. He was like, oh no, one more mistake and that's it. That's going to break the camel's back. And I can't afford to lose my wife to somebody else. I can't afford to lose my family right now. I can't afford for my name, my brand, everything I built to go down the drain. I can't afford for all the pain and all the tears and all the self-reflection that it took for us to be together 10 plus years to be wasted. And he was right. But see, Jada was fearless in loving him, and that's what he realized. And that's what a lot of us fail to realize too. When you find somebody that is fearless in loving you, you have found the best kind of love in the world. You have found a love worth fighting for. And that's exactly what the both of them decided to do at the end of the day. Whether it took him forgiving her for having her entanglement and understanding why she did it in the first place, in which she made it clear why she did it. She said she was broken. She was vulnerable. And when she met this individual made her feel needed, made her feel wanted, and her husband was not doing that. Her husband was too focused on giving her the big house on the hill instead of making her feel wanted as a woman and understood as a person. And not only that, the dynamic of the relationship in her entanglement is they were helping each other heal. She was helping that young man heal, and he was helping her heal. And that's magical, right? But that goes back to what I was saying. Sometimes cheating is not always about sex. It's just a different aspect of what's missing from my person that I'm not getting. So, in order for you to bounce back from any cheating situation, you have to really understand why it took place. And if you can cope with it and internalize it and turn it around so that you can better your relationship so that it doesn't happen again. But as I say to you, it's only if you know for sure that you have a love worth fighting for. Okay? Will and Jada never gave up on each other no matter how hard it got. And I think that's what allowed them to rebuild their trust, rebuild their marriage, and rebuild the sacred love that they once shared from the very beginning. It can be hard to do that, especially when you've grown to be a different human being from what your partner first knew. I mean, being together for 2 years, 3 years, past 10 years, you're still changing. You're still growing as a person. You're adopting new characteristics as you age. And you have to relearn yourself all over again. And your partner has to relearn how to love you all over again. So you have to take all those things into consideration, right? But as I said before, all it boils down to is really understanding if the love is real or not. Will and Jada parted ways. They could have filed for divorce. They could have called it quits when she had her entanglement. But instead, she realized that her husband was not willing to give up on her. And she wasn't willing to give up on her husband either because she did appreciate him, but she just wanted that bond back. And she wanted to truly understand how she could place herself in his life, a man's life that already has everything laid out for him. As a woman, you want to know, where do I fit in? And that was her situation. She wanted to know where she fit in for him and where she could be valuable to him. And it took her a while. I believe Will said they separated for 2 years. It took them a while, but they came back stronger and better than ever. They understand each other on a whole different new level. They love each other on a whole different new level, and their love is solid. So I say all this to say, you want to know if your love was real with your person before they cheated? Be willing to take some risks. Be willing to put your foot down and see if they come back. See if they come back. If they don't come back, if they use cheating as an excuse to leave, to throw everything that you've been through away at the drop of a dime, then you know that the bond that you had with that person was not solid in the first place. It was not genuine at all, and you were wasting your time. And that should be enough for you to bounce back. That should be enough motivation right there to know that you almost dedicated too much time and energy to somebody that was just wasting your time in the first place. So I would say, don't focus on the act of it all. Focus on how can you get through it. And ask yourself, is it worth fighting for? But it has to be a two-way street. You can't be doing all the fighting by yourself. You can't be trying by yourself. You can't be willing to forgive every time. That's unrealistic. Unrealistic. I don't know if you are religious, but I'm a Christian. And in the Bible, it says, stand in love, don't fall in love. And what it means is, when you stand in love with your partner, you are willing to face some trials and triumphs together, for them, with them, and get through it together, no matter what. And that is the true, ultimate, unconditional love. When you're willing to stand in love and be loyal to each other no matter what, no matter how much you stray, no matter how much you get to a point in life where you lose focus on the type of love that you share. Because believe me, things are going to happen in life. You're going to have distractions, you're going to have challenges, you're going to have the whole nine. But at the end of the day, as I keep emphasizing, what matters the most is, if the love you have is solid, then you know you two will always find each other at the end of the day. And you can either decide to work on it, or you can decide to grow as an individual from whatever pain you have caused each other. Because, I mean, nobody's perfect. Nobody is perfect. None of us are perfect. All of us have different journeys. All of us have different backgrounds. And when it comes to love, there's nothing you could really do besides just go with the flow. If it was a true love, then at least you'll know that no matter what you do or what that person does, they will never be able to replace you. They will never be able to find somebody else that can give them that feeling that you gave them. Or they will never be able to share the experience that you had with your person with somebody else. And that's the beauty of bouncing back from cheating, is knowing for a fact that what you had was special, and there's none like that out there with anybody else. So I guess I say all this to say is, if you truly want to bounce back, focus on the positivity. Focus on the inner healing that you need to do. Look yourself in the mirror and take full responsibility, and understand that love is not a fairy tale. Love is what you're willing to fight through. Love is what you're willing to cherish. Love is what you're willing to sacrifice. And sometimes it is your dignity. But you have to define if that individual is worth your dignity or not. You define if that person is worth fighting for or not. Or you could just take that L and keep it moving. No matter what, life goes on. Okay? Life goes on. So thank you for watching. Okay, my name is Coach Sweetie. If you're new to my channel, thank you for watching. I focus on relationship advice and wellness, following your mental health, spiritual health, emotional health, all of the above. Okay, I believe your health is your wealth. Okay, so I will post a lot of videos speaking on relatable topics that we all go through. LGBTQ community, if you are watching, just apply what resonates with you. You know, I got your back too. And I have some new items on the website, guys, so feel free to go check them out. I have a new body bar that is amazing. It is changing the game, guys. It is changing the game. And I am restocked on the bath soaks, so if you want to go grab yours before you miss out, go ahead and do that. Place your order now. Until next time, thank you for watching, guys. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Peace.